Hey guys, welcome to Easel Does It Studio. So today we're going to do something a little different. I have my axolotl in the, my curing light because I put the eyes in it already. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the wings on the axolotl. This was a request from one of my subscribers. So I try to honor, all requests that I get. And they wanted to see if I could do it with the axolotl. So that's what we're going to do today. But I'm going to do it a little different. I am going to, and let me put this in the debubbler real quick while I'm doing my film. All right, because this is getting a little warm. All right, let's see. So what I'm going to do is I have this cut out for the wings, and I had two others. And where did I put them? I guess it was these two. Oh no, right here. Never mind. Goodness gracious. So I traced them, but I'm going to shrink them. So I traced on the outside, and then I'm going to shrink them down and see if we can get them to fit. So I'm going to use my heat gun. And we're going to start with the wings. So I'm just going to, let me just get something here to kind of hold it. I figured maybe by tracing it out first and then shrinking it, I would maybe get a better fit. I don't know. So these are going to be for the wings. All right, let's get this one. So you definitely want to have something to hold it because this does get really hot. All right, so let me just kind of cut this shape out. And it doesn't have to be exact. I just want something, to kind of give that little bit of iridescent to it. So I'm just going kind of on the line. I'm not even really being that careful because we can always trim it up. So I've never done it this way, but I figured, why not? Why not give it a try? And then we're gonna pour enough in to get it to cure. Just kind of stay in place, but You know, and then I can always just put some extra little pieces in. So this maybe wasn't a good idea doing it this way first, but, you know, you don't know until you try something, right? All right, so I think that will work. I just might have to cut that just so I can get that to lay in there better. All right, and then we can take these little pieces and do some fill-in around it. All right, so I'm just going to go a little bit bigger on this. And then I'll just give it a good wipe to make sure I have none of the black showing. And this one really shrunk up. Like I said, we're going to use all these little pieces to finish filling that in. So I ended up only mixing up 5 ounces. I only want like to have a few pieces left. Not a few pieces, a thin top coat. I'm just gonna rip that a little bit. All right, and then we'll fill it in with pieces. All right. And my button wasn't pushed in all the way. All right, so let's get Mr. Axolotl out. And I'm going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to fuse these together. So this one is called Sugar Plum. All right, so we have Sugar Plum and Cotton Candy. So, all right, so we're just gonna fuse this together. All right. So we'll put all right, so let's I'm just going to cut that. I'm not going to bother trying to go up its into his little claws. All right. Just set that over there because we can, all these pieces we can save and reuse. All right. So in this one, hopefully we can kind of tuck it underneath of the shell and just kind of give it a, all right. So I think that will fit in there, and then we can shove a little bit down in the tail. All right, so let me, the resin is just about done. So, let's see, this is a wing and that's a wing, and these are some extra bits. All right. So I'm using the Bond Craftor resin because it is a little bit thicker viscosity, and I just figured that it would help the foil, I think, stay down a little better. All right, so we've got our resin, we've got the bubbles out. Just spray the top a little bit, and I'm gonna get my gloves. And we're gonna hopefully get this axolotl poured. All right, so let me, I'm gonna pour the some clear into here first so that I can try and get the gills, the resin in the gills with no bubbles is kind of, I'm hoping to do. All right, so I am and we got some bubbles in there. So I'm just, can you see those bubbles coming up? So what I was thinking of doing is, I don't know if he's going to be too big. I was thinking about putting him in my debubbler to see if it would bring up any of these bubbles. Let me... because there is a big bubble that is like wanting to stay in there. So the only thing is I can't get that final one. And I'm trying to not have dislodge my eyeballs. Spray some. See if I squeeze them up, if the alcohol on the top will pop them, because there are some bubbles right at the tips. All right, I'm gonna try putting this in my debubbler, guys, to see if it will pull some of those bubbles out. So because he's not real full, I was able to bend his tail a little bit. All right, so while that's doing that, and I can kind of see it from here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get these wings poured. And I didn't spray my other mold, so that's probably one of the reasons I'm having some bubble issues. And I gotta remember, on the wings, I don't care if there's a, you know, not much of a back coat, but I do want my film to be completely submerged. All right, let's get this one poured. So I've never put anything in my debubbler with in a mold, but they do it in the vacuum chamber, so why would it not work in let me just get a little brush here. And we're gonna try and dislodge any bubbles. And we do have a speck of something in there. And there's a few clinging bubbles on the edge. All right, so that kind of is looking good. And I am not seeing one bubble there. All right. So let's does this one go in this one? And I did not wipe the black off like an idiot. All right, hang on, now I got a hair in there. Oh, we're making messes. We are making messes. All right, let me stop my... There are a ton of bubbles. All right. So I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. But let's try and get this in. And this is not working. So yeah, don't try and heat your thing before and then cut it after. It doesn't work good, guys. I figured I would try, but yeah, no. It is more of a pain in my keister, but we're going to make it work. And it doesn't have to be like in everything because it's going to shine through. But I do want it to be, and I'm trying to get like any bubbles that might be underneath. All right, so what I'm going to do is try to be able to lay these little pieces down on top of each other. You know, it's anything. It's a learning curve the first time you try anything new. You know, and the good thing is the wings don't take much resin, so if I have to redo the wings, I will. I can always cut those little pieces off after too. So, all right, let's move that one out of the way and try and get something going in this one. And I'm just going to cut that through so we can try to get that laid down in there. So I'm going to make it more pieces, I think, than anything for this one. And again, I didn't take the black off, but you know what? I am just going to go with it because I'm not making another huge mess here. All right, let me cut this one. So we can poke that in there. Get that piece to lay down. And hopefully that black will not show. You guys are going, whoa, is she making a mess? What an idiot. Oh, yeah, leave it to me. Leave it to me to try something different when I'm filming. But then you know what not to do, right? All right, so I'm going to try to get a little piece of this crinkled area right here. Let's do this piece. And just to kind of get it in there. All right. All right. Let's just get some resin over the top. So this one definitely needs a little bit more resin. So I might have to top coat these once I take them out, because I think I'm going to leave these ones clear. And like I said, I might have to redo these. I don't know. I'm trying to get any bubbles to come up. I just figured these would give like a nice color to the wings, but maybe I'll just do something different next time. All right, let's pour a little bit over this, get this one filled. And I do see a bubble that I need to go get. All right, so I'm gonna let them sit for a little bit. I think this can use a little bit more. And I think this one can use a smidge more. My resin's starting to get thick. All right, let's leave those. Give them a good spray. And we'll move those back. And try to clean up some of my mess. All right, so looks like the bubbles came out. No. There's one bubble right in that tip. Come on. I love this mold except for that. Oh. All right, that's looking better. Now I have a little black speck or something in here. All right, so let's finish getting our resin in. Yeah, because it is getting warm. And where is my stick? Oh well, I'll take a clean one. Because I want to try to keep this as bubble free as possible. All right, so let's take our, and I'm gonna wipe this one, I ain't gonna forget. I don't mind redoing the wings if I have to, but I don't want to redo the... All right, so I am going to take some of this resin and we're gonna coat our film. And hopefully there won't be any bubbles that stay trapped underneath it. Him over. pop him down into our axolotl. All right, so I'm gonna just take some other like little pieces and try to fill in just so we're gonna get a nice iridescence like throughout the whole thing. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. So just gonna put a little something down in the tail. Get a few bubbles that I see. And so I think instead of backing it maybe in black, I will do maybe like a dark blue. All right, so I do have a little bit more. Let's try to get a little bit more in because I don't want a deep final layer. All right. And that is it, guys. I'll keep an eye on this, and I will be back for the next pour of this, which I think it'll be maybe 1.5 ounces. And at that point, I can check my wings, and if I need to redo them, then I can. But hopefully everything will kind of stay in the resin. And whatever doesn't, I can always trim. So, yeah. I'm not having a lot of hope for at least this wing here for some reason. I don't know. But we will see when it is ready to, you know, for the next layer. Alrighty, guys. I will see you on the next step. All right, guys, we're ready to put the next layer on, but I was checking to see if there was bubbles, and look what happened. One of my eyes dislodged when I was squeezing the bubbles, and yeah. So now I got to figure out how to fix him, because he's only going to have one eye. So I'm going to continue just because I want to see what the base layer, you know, what it's going to look like finished, and I'll have time to figure out what in the crap I'm going to do with my one-eyed axolotl. Oh my God. Yep. Oh, lordy, lordy. So I was debubbling my resin, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go with it. So I am gonna use this purple. I just figured the pink and the purple would kind of go good together. This is a metallic. This one I believe I had got on Temu. yeah, this one is like really, really thick. So, yep. We've got a deformed axolotl. Yeah, we do. Oh my goodness. Why? I have no bubbles. All right, I definitely want a little bit more paste than that, so let me grab a paper towel so I can wipe this so I can put some more in. That should be plenty. Oh, leave it to me. And I had a feeling too when I was friggin' with the bubbles. I'm like, oh, my son must have just got home from work. So I ended up making 3 ounces. Now, if I would have noticed that before I mixed up the resin, I wouldn't have mixed up 3 ounces, but we'll figure out what we can do. Maybe I'll put a pair of those funky sunglasses on the front of him and put a butterfly over the eye and the head. I don't know. We will come up with something. All right. I'm gonna give this a good spray. And like I said, it's not going to take a lot. And it's not 100% cured, but it was firm. So I wanted to go ahead and get this poured. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my heat mat. Because now I'm just really bummed. I was hoping that he was going to be so stinking cute. And he's still going to be cute. And let's see. Yeah, so I was right. An ounce would have been more than enough. So I've got 2 ounces. So let me just move him so we don't do anything else to distort him. And put that on. And let's see. What can I make? All right, you know what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour, just in case those wings don't come out the greatest. I know these are a different size, but it will give us a plan B just in case. Oh my. You know, it's just, everything was going so good, I should have known. Because, you know, when do I either not make a mess or mess something up, right? And this is going to screw me over for making like a reindeer, but I'm like, well, worst case scenario, these will be the same color as the bottom of her, so let's just roll with it in case. All right, so that put it just under 2. So let me just kind of move these back out of the way. And Let me see if I can find something small. All right, let's do an elk, because even if I don't have enough of the ears, or do I want to do the hippo? Where is my hippo mold? Let's do a hippo, because I don't have too many of him. So let's do that. Oh, and I can't spray this one. So it's not 100% filled, but I think if we scrape it, we will definitely have enough. Even if I got to put a thin layer of clear UV resin on the bottom. But no, we're going to make it. All right. So, let me just want to get, I don't want any bubbles. So I did order some more of the eyes. I ordered a pack of the 6mm and the 8mm because I don't know what size. I'm thinking the ones that I used in the Axolotl are 6mm, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's why I bought both. So I'll be back for demold and have a plan to fix our little axolotl. Alrighty, I'll be back. Alrighty, guys. We are back. I have got a couple ideas for my little disaster here. I do have a few sharp pieces, so let's get the wing out. Nice and bubble free. So there's a few little bits sticking up. But I'm not going to stress over it too much right at this moment until I know if I can fix my little boo-boo here. So I'm just gonna trim off some of this, just the sharper bits that are sticking out. Because I can always top coat this. All right, so we've got our little wings. They came out really, really good. All right, so let's get our little hippo out. And I did put this on the heat mat just so it would be done. So I know there's a few bubbles because my resin was getting thick. All right. Oh, but he's so cute. I love that purple. So I'm surprised there's no bubbles underneath the chin. I thought for sure I'd have some bubbles in him. All right, so let's get these wings out. These are just some spares, just in case. I wasn't sure which size, but virtually bubble-free. I'm like, really? The first time I get something that's completely bubble-free and I have to screw it up. Oh, well. All right. So, let me get my light plugged in so I can... I don't know if that's going to help or not, but... All right, so let me get that little overage out. All right. So I find it easier if you work the top half out first, because I have seen there's been a lot of people that their molds have ripped because they pull the tail out first and you have to go so far down. So it's more of a struggle this way, but I think the longevity of the mold, I think, is going to be more beneficial. It's just these two areas here that get a little bit more complicated, because then you got to get them down to get those gill areas started. So once you can get the gills started, then you're good to go. But if you can loosen those up, I find that it works a little bit better. And I see two bubbles right off the bat. But they're towards the bottom. All right, so... See our little monkey eye? All right. Just a little overage, not too bad. I haven't even really looked on the other side because I'm just so bummed about that eye dislodging. I am like, oh, why? All right, so we do have two bubbles there, but it's on the bottom. We have one bubble there, which I can fix with UV, and the bottoms of these three here. But everything else is really good. We do have just a few little bubbles in the face. But, I mean, other than that, look at how cute. So, and I know everybody wants me to put the wings going the right way. I don't even know that I'm going to on this one. I don't know. Just because he's messed up. So, I have a couple of different options. My son said to make a patch over one eye. So, if I UV'd that, so if I UV'd like a patch on the eye, I could just like make a little line going here and then going across. This eye is up a little high too, so then, and now that I'm looking at these glasses, I don't think this is going to work. Because I was thinking, well, maybe we could put some sunglasses, but sorry guys, I don't know what happened. It just shut off. So these are going to be, I think, too small. Well, yeah, because you're going to see one eye and not the other. So I'm thinking the patch option is going to be what we're going to have to do for our little one-eyed axolotl. I'll UV it, and then I'll make like a little trail, like a rope, like a string, or I don't know what you want to call it, an elastic, kind of like so it's being held on. And for the top of the head where the eye is, I could put a butterfly, or I could put a bow. So I'm thinking the bow is going to be a better option because I can really cover that eye. So let's get my UV bonder out in my light. Oh my goodness. Are we kidding right now? But I don't know. I think it's going to be cute with the wings, but I don't know which ones are too big. I'm thinking that the smaller ones. All right, I'll decide after. I can't believe this. Look at that. She would have had such a cute little face. And this eye is kind of up way too much too. So, yeah. So this one here, I can't sell because there's too many boo-boos. But I'll keep her because I still love her, even though she's a little misfit. Yeah. All right. So let's try and get this. So all I did was color some UV resin. I dried it. I cured it. I put it under the light, and I'm just going to see if I can kind of get that to adhere. I can't even believe I'm putting a patch over her eye. I can't even. Oh, my word. Other than that, she's really, really cute. She's got sparkly little arms and legs. Oh. All right. So this is the black that I mixed up. Oh. Yeah, so I would have been down here a little earlier, but we lost power for a couple hours because it's been so windy. All right, so I'm going to get her little strap on, I should say. Because, you know, she can't have a patch if there's no way of adhering it to her face, right? So I'm making like a line. Let me zoom you in, so you can see what I'm at least attempting to try and do. So I'm just putting a little bit on my little stick thing here. Now I'm going to cure it. Oh, I'm sorry, baby girl. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I knew it was just a matter of time. All right, so if I put it from here, like kind of going like that, I think that will work. Because I don't want it going clear across here. It's not, to me, that wouldn't make any sense. All right, so we're gonna get it started here. And ever so carefully. And I know it doesn't make any sense where I had it end up, but, you know, it's a cartoon character, so who cares? As long as she has something over her broken eyeball. So my husband was like, well, make it so she's winking. But the way the eye is shaped, it's really hard to try to do that. So, and the glasses just weren't going to be big enough. So, and then my other option was I could have put a Christmas hat on her. But if I was going to put a Christmas hat, I would want her to be more Christmassy colors, I guess. Yeah, so, all right, I'll put it back under the light after, but now we've got to get her the bow, and I'm going to try to put the fatter bow, part of the bow, on that side, just like that. And that way, that covers that whole broken eye. Oh, at least I had plenty of time to kind of figure out, like, you can kind of see it over here, but maybe I'll put her a double bow. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what I could have done? Well, I suppose I still could. I could do rhinestones on her patch. I didn't even think of that, guys. I just now did. All right, so let's see. If we did a pink, I'm just trying to see. That one's not shaped right. Wonder how a double purple would look. Yeah, that might look a little bit better. And that way there you can't see. You can't see the bow. All right, we're just going to put her a double bow. There we go. My poor little baby. She's got boo-boos. All right. Oh, I wish you guys could talk to me. Wings or no wings? Oh. She's got so many boo-boos already. I think those ones are a bit big. And I think these ones are a little too small. Because that's the way they're supposed to go. But to me, they look better this way. But my husband's like, make sure you put them on the right way this time. So. Don't know. Yeah, we might as well. All right. So let me get these sanded down. And I will be back and we'll glue them on. All right. I'll be right back. Okay. So I gave her a prettier eye patch. I couldn't leave her with just the black eye patch. I couldn't. So, we've got the wings, and they are all set to go on. And I'm going to put them on the right way because I don't want to hear I put them on wrong just because I like them upside down. So we'll put these ones on the right way because my husband had a stroke when I went up last. Honey, you put those on backwards. I said, I don't care. That's how I like them. So when I said I was doing this one, because he loves these axolotls, he says, make sure you put them on the right way. Yes, dear. Yes. All right, so I've just got to figure out where I want them, right about there. All right, so I am going to put some of this bonder down, and I'm going to get my light. I like this bonder for doing stuff like this because it's a faster curing UV resin, and it works like a dream. And I'm going to put it right about there. All right. So I figured I would just put the rhinestones on off camera because you guys have seen me do it before, and I wanted to try to keep this video down in length a little bit. Oh, stop. All right, I'm just gonna wipe that all off, and we're gonna start again. Oh. After I get this done, I'm just going to bed, guys. All right, let me get my... And I'm hoping they're even. If not, oh well. It'll be like the rest of it. She's actually really cute. All right. So this is a cute little baby face and her two wings, and they look pretty even, at least on camera from here. So that is a side view, but I mean, pretty much no bubbles. There was a few, like there's one there, which I'll fill that in off camera. And there was, you know, just like a few tiny little ones around the paper, but that other than that, and like on the film there was some. So, but other than that, there was like no bubbles in her. She's so pretty. Even with her little boo-boo face. Yeah. And this is our little hippo. I haven't done anything to this one yet. I think I'm gonna leave this one plain. I'm gonna trim the bottom and that's it. So I will get some pictures for you guys, and I will try to get a really good one of her, so you can see her up close. But that is our video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. Be careful when you put the eyes in when you're playing around, because you will dislodge them. I proved that today. But I think she's cute after all. And we can't even see that other little eye unless you really like go under like in here. But yeah, you can't. So it looks like I intentionally made it like that. With her two little bows on her head. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Have a great night. Bye.